Oh, Jésus va.
Are we ready to begin?
I believe you can. They're trying to reassign persons, but I know you also have a time block. And yes, so whenever you're feeling ready to begin, please.
All right. Good afternoon, District 81.
Good afternoon.
My name is DTM Kajutan Barreto. I am coming to you live all the way from Kuwait, where it is almost midnight. But that's the life of a Toastmaster, to help others. And today I'm here to talk about websites, how you can leverage the power of websites for your clubs and for your areas and districts, whatever that might be, and how we can do that in a very simple way. But before I do that, I would like to see in the chat any participants of a club that already has a website. Do we have anybody here who currently a club having their own website?
I don't, but I want to set up one for our club. Does that count?
Yeah, then you're in the right place. Just give me a second. I'm just switching my camera.
Yeah. Somebody has in the chat, yes, but not functional. And there's a yes.
Just give me a second. Okay, so Sonia Monroe's, we have, but we need to maintain it. Maybe put the website link to have a look at what is it that you have.
I don't think there's anything there.
I don't think I have the link. One.
All right.
Secretary to an online club, but I don't even know how to get onto it. I think somebody was supposed to give me some admin rights and he never did that. Right. So I can't get access.
That's fine. So essentially, most of us now use social media to reach out to prospective members. We might use Facebook, we might use Instagram, we might use LinkedIn, and most of us use WhatsApp. But all of them have a fun problem, is that the reach of that is limited to the reach of the club, the reach of the social media, in the sense that if you post something on your timeline, then only those who are within your circle will see it. If you post it on your, let's say, page, Facebook page, then only those who have liked your page will likely see it. But the power of a website is that most of us, when we want to learn something, let's say I'm afraid of public speaking, and I go where? Normally, I will go to Google. I'll say, how do I improve my public speaking? And if your club has a website that focuses on public speaking, and the person who is asking that query is within the neighborhood, there is a very high chance that Google will bring your website for the member, for the prospective member to basically find additional information. So the advantage of a website is it is accessible to anybody who goes through a normal search process. And that is the reason why you might want to consider websites as part of your PR arsenal. But how do we go about developing a website? First of all, it can be quite complex to develop a website. Second, you might have to pay some money to host the website. And as clubs, really, we can't afford paying money because we are simply making ends meet as a non-profit organization. Now, there are a couple of options, free options available to us. I am going to focus today on one of them. And the reason I'm going to focus on this, let me share my screen. So I'm going to focus today on what we call the free Toast host solution. And the link to that is actually called toastmastersclubs.org. The reason I'm going to propose this solution for any club that wants to create a website is simply because, first of all, it's completely brand compliant. So you don't really have to waste your time trying to create from scratch a website and then worry about the functionality, worry about the branding. Everything is sort of ready-made for you to start using. That's the first thing. It's ready-made. All of the templates are available, and you can be up and running within an hour or so. The second thing that we should all love of this website is obviously it is free. And we love free, right, as Toastmasters. And the third thing is it has multiple options available for us in terms of things that are available to the public. That means when somebody lands on your website and they start looking at it, there is information that is accessible to the public to learn more about your club. Then we have something called a member section. So we can create a members only section on that website, and that's great for collaboration, for planning your meetings. So whenever you want to set up your meetings, you want to set up your schedule for the upcoming meetings, you can set it up here, and members can sign up for roles directly on the website. And to a large extent, if your members, and this is very important, if your members are committed as a VP education, you don't have to run after members to say, take up the role, take up the speaking slot, take up the evaluation slot. What you do is you set up the agenda for the upcoming meeting, and you simply inform the members, go to our website and sign up for the roles. And as they sign up, as a VP ad, you have a full visibility of what's going to happen for that meeting. I've had success as well as challenges using this functionality, especially in our country in Kuwait, where people like to be followed up. They need to be sent WhatsApp messages or phone calls. They are not so tech savvy. So getting them to actually make use of this very powerful tool can sometimes be a challenge. But if you get them on board, then your planning becomes very simple. The public, whenever they look at your website, they can see when are the upcoming meetings, and then they can basically reach out to you. And you can basically change the whole look and feel of this website as an administrator. So how do we start going about creating a website? In case you want to do it and you want to follow this route, the website, let me start by going to the main website. It's called TOASTMASTERSclubs.org. Okay, that is the landing page of the website. And if you want to create your own website, all you have to do is you have to fill up this form, which is available here. For example, let's look at your district, District 81, and I can see all of these clubs. Let's randomly take one club, 8938. Sorry. And what I will do is I will say, let's say this club doesn't have a website, and now we want to create a website. So basically all I do is I give the club district number and the club number. and it will bring up the information of that club directly. And as you can see, it is connected directly to Club Central, and it can identify that this club, what is the name of the club, and more importantly, what is the contact information of the club. This is very important because earlier in the session, I asked you all a question, and the lady or the one of you all said that you are waiting for admin access. You don't know how to log into the website. One good thing about Toastmasters clubs or the free Toast host is that even if, let's say, you were maintaining one team of XCOM, were maintaining the website, and then a new team comes in, even if those members, let's say the admin of the previous one, did not, for example, transfer the privileges to you, the password and all that, we can reset it. We can simply say, reset the password, and what will happen is the current email ID that is there in your Toastmasters Club Central, in your Toastmasters website, it will send a link to that site. So in this case, for example, the current email ID of the person is this. So this person can essentially take control of this website at any time. And the next term, let's say a new team comes and they will update Club Central, they can take over. So you will never lose the content that is created on this website. This is one advantage of creating and managing your club using this. So basically, of course, I don't want to create a website for this because I don't know enough about the club. But if I was to say yes, it would send a link to this person to say that the admin is going to be changed. And then from there onwards, you get a blank website to start with. Let me show you a sample website that I had recently created during one of these similar sessions, one of my clubs in District 20. So what you get is you get this blank template. You get sort of ready-made templates with all of this information. All you have to do is go and plug in that information, put in some pictures, and your website is ready within a few hours. How do we do that? The person who requested for the website and has been approved by the current, let's say, person responsible for Club Central, let's say that process is done, all you have to do is you can launch the admin console. And this gives you a lot of features to configure and make the website look and feel the way you want. So for example, we have here on the left-hand side what we call the public-facing information. So any person who lands on this page will be able to see, for example, the information about the club, and we can change this information as you wish. I will show you how to do that. You can also put some information about your details of your meeting. When do you all meet? What time do you all meet? You can put some Google links to your location. Obviously, nowadays, it's all online. But in case you all are meeting physically, you can give the directions to your club. You can have a contact information where the person who's visiting your website can send you a form saying that my name is so-and-so, I'm interested in, this is my email address, please contact me, I want more information. And this will go to the contact information that is set up in this website. So in this case, for example, it will go to all of these people, and you can put their names, their phone numbers if you want them to be, if you want the public to call you on the phone. If you don't, of course, you can remove this so that they don't disturb you in the middle of the night. It's up to you. Then also you can showcase something called Meet Our Members. And Meet Our Members is a way for you to showcase who is there in the club, who's the president, who's the XCOM team. You can define their pictures. You can put a short bio of those members. And that way, the XCOM team also has some presence, okay? You can also set up a club calendar where we can see when is the next upcoming meeting. Okay, so here we have a meeting at 5 p.m., a club meeting. And if you click on it, it will then give you the agenda of the meeting. See the power of this. Imagine any person who is browsing and trying to learn more about Toastmasters, then finds your club, and then finds all this information about your club, and including the upcoming agenda, right? So you'll be interested, and then obviously will want to join your club. You can have a section called public downloads where you can define information that anybody can download. For example, the latest newsletter of Toastmasters, you can upload it and keep so that anybody wants to download it, they can download it and then read more about Toastmasters. All in PDF files can be uploaded and kept here. And you can create more pages. Okay, all this is done in a admin console. So for example, we have here the ability to manage the website, manage your members, manage the contact forms, manage custom web pages. So for example, here I have created a custom web page, which is the club awards and achievements, right? As you can see, as of now, there is nothing in it, but you can just type the information. So you can showcase whenever somebody completes their levels, you can put their photos. This is like those who have used Microsoft Word or Google Docs will find this quite easy to use. So if I want to attach a picture, all I have to do is click on a picture here, attach the picture, change the font, make it large, and so forth. You can play around with the formatting and the contents of that page. And what happens once you save this, you see, automatically that page has been updated, right? There are, as I said, some of these are standard pages that are available to you, meeting information, contact us, and so forth. You can choose to add, hide them, or you can, again, all of this is done in the admin console. Similarly, you have this area that only the members can access. And what they can do is once the members log in, they can, for example, check the agendas, they can sign up. And even it has a very interesting tool for mentor protege requests. So whenever somebody wants to look for a mentor, he can make a request, and somebody who wants to be a mentor, he can say, I want to be a mentor, and it will do the matching. So as you start exploring the contents, as I said, it's free. Feel free to start experimenting with it. Much of it doesn't require any skills other than your skills to create content. As long as you can type some information, put in some pictures here and there, you should be able to configure a website and say, this is my club website, this is what I have. Similarly, as I said, if you want to look at the agenda, you can create what we call a template of the agenda. Like normally, you might be doing 2 speeches per meeting. So we can create a template which says, I want a meeting with 2 speeches. I want a meeting with 3 speeches. And accordingly, it will define this agenda for you. Of course, you can later on adjust it. You can, if somebody drops out, you can delete this line. All of this again is done in the admin console. So for example, meeting settings, right? So this is your agenda. Okay. And you can create multiple templates. For example, I created this template called Capital Speakers Normal Meeting. And as you can see, I can define this template and I say how long this, for example, the meeting opening will be 5 minutes, for example. I can change that, of course, assign it to some people. As I said, I can assign the person who will take it up, or if I leave it unassigned, then when the members log in, they can say, I want to take up this role. I want to take up the Toastmaster of the day role. I want to take up speaker one. So the agenda can quickly fill up this way. And it's, again, as I said, it's very easy to manage this template. So for example, I don't want 3 speakers. I can simply click on this button and I can delete this slot from this agenda, and it will adjust automatically all of this. So you can set up for each segment how much time you want, and then it will tell you if you started the meeting at 5, based on this, you are going to finish just in 2 hours, right? But if I say, okay, I don't have an education segment, I had planned for 20 minutes, let me remove it. So now it tells me, no, it's going to finish at 6:40. So you can basically arrange your agenda, a template, in such a way that if you all are meeting for 2 hours, you create this template structure. And every time you want to create a new meeting, all you tell the system is, I want to use this template, and then people can start signing up. And you can create your agenda ahead in advance. You can set up 2 or 3 meetings in advance. That way, basically what happens is that, so for example, this meeting is scheduled for meeting agendas. So I have set up only one. So if I click on next, there isn't any one. But if I simply want to add a new meeting, I'd say create new agenda, I just click on the plus button, and I'll say using the agenda template, using this template that I have, I can say that my meeting should be, let's say, on March 5th, and put additional information as you fit. And then once you save it, one minute, add March 5th agenda. Okay, it has already been created. So that's where you can basically have multiple meetings that members can choose and then sign up, and so that becomes your member access. So we have a public access, we have a member access, and then you can play around with the look and feel of the entire website. And within a few hours, you would be up and running with your new website. So up to now, I have reached my 20 minutes. I would like to spend the remaining 10 minutes in a sort of a discussion with you in your plans of how we can make use of this resource, how you can implement it. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them, so that you go enabled to at least start looking at it seriously.
I have a question.
Right, go ahead.
I actually have 2 questions. So I'm going to start with analytics. Are we able to see analytics relating to the website, see people coming in? Any reports?
Well, there are a couple of ways we can do that. Also, by the way, if you look into the website, though you may not get a direct information of how many people, you can put in what we call, in one of these places, you will find something called, you can put a Google analytics code. And using that Google account of yours, you can then get all of the traffic information related to that website. Sometimes website statistics. So first of all, you can enable a hit counter, which will basically tell you how many visitors have come. But more important, I think, will be if you really want to go deeper into it, look at this option of embedding your analytics script code with your Google account, link it, and then in your Google Analytics, you will get all the traffic information related to this website.
All right, so so you're saying add the email address, a Gmail account?
Yes.
Okay, and then, so what do I do right here by the script code?
Oh, well, I mean, it won't be, you need to spend little time on understanding Google Analytics itself. Yeah. So you'll have to go to your Google account, set up the Google Analytics, and then it will give you some code that you can post here. And this code will then basically update your analytics. So that would be probably a kind of a separate kind of discussion. What you can do is you can simply enable the hit counter, first of all, and then that will give you at least some analytics of how many people are actually coming to your website, at least on the main website. That would be, I think, a starting point, and then you can start investigating the analytics tool.
Okay, that's one. And my second and final question, where there are some clubs across Toastmasters International that have similar names, but they're in different districts. Where a club with a similar name already has a website, would that impact us?
Absolutely no. No, absolutely not. Actually, you can see here, this obviously here you can brand your website as you wish, like the name that you give here. You can make sure that your district area are well highlighted. It's up to you how you format the contents of this information that is shown here. Okay, so for example, here it is very clear, and as you can see, you get an URL. So let's say I am taking as Capital Speakers. Let's say there's another club in the Toastmasters fraternity which is also called Capital Speakers. What will happen is the person who took that domain name, I would say it's not a domain, it's a subdomain of this main domain. So I have got Capital Speakers. So the other club.
Yay, so we're back.
Okay, we are back.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, right.
So I think, who was
So we have 5 minutes more according to the team managing the main session. So we were talking about
leaving from
Similar
analytics and
names.
similar names. That's where we're at.
similar names. So as I was saying, the person who took the name first will basically, so mine is called capitalspeakers.toastmastersclub.org. The other person will get an error if they say, I want to use Capital Speakers. So they might have to give another name, maybe a shorter version of it. Like I could say CSTM, Capital Speakers Toastmasters Club. So cstm.toastmasters.org. So it's up to you. So it wouldn't cost them other than the link that you create.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. So I thought this was a new thing for me, or would be for my club. And I just realized that it was set up, as we would say in the Caribbean, from a Wapikil fill-up, which means a very long time ago, and it's not been used. I was testing it a while ago with the club number 2686, and it tells me it already exists.
Yeah.
How can, I was trying to reset the password, it sent me to support.toastmastersclubs.org.
Yeah, I've done this process. I don't know whether I can replicate it right now, but hang on a minute. Generally, as I said, first of all, once you want to take over this website that was created a long time ago, the steps are very simple. First of all, go to your Club Central and make sure that the main information that is set up here in Club Central is pointing to your current maybe president or VPPR, whoever, who can receive the reset link. Do that first, okay? And of course, you can do that by going to toastmasters.org and logging into your Club Central and making sure so, for example, if I want to manage Kuwait Challenges Toastmasters, so go to the club contact, yeah, this one, right? And make sure that this email is pointing to the person who will be able to take over your club. And that is what I was telling you about it. As long as this is set correctly, you should be able to reset it from here. I can check the steps, but what was the club number?
2686.
2686. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what I got.
Yeah. So
as you're there, go ahead. I have another question to ask you based on that URL. If you want to, even though it's previously registered, can you edit the URL? So let's say you don't want to have the club number anymore, but
yes, you can do that. That is possible because that is defined in one of the settings in the, what I should say, in the admin console. There is an option somewhere where you can put the website alias.
Okay.
So once you get access to your website, you will come here, launch the admin console, and then you can give whatever alias that you think is good for sharing when you're sharing the link to your website.
Thank you so much. You have no idea what you've just done with this simple exercise.
Yeah. And this is one of the only website where I found that you never have to worry about losing access. The current team can always take control of the website. And that's one thing I really like about this.
Yes. I'll definitely be sharing this with my president and the vice president education, even though I am the vice president PR, even though I'm the VP. As this will save. I was talking to them in an exec meeting just last week about easy speak, but I was saying I need to explore something else. So this looks perfect.
Glad it helped you.
And final question, even though you did that. So we had the presentation earlier about branding and using type of fonts. And I know inside of this platform, the fonts are very word oriented and it has all the different names. Should we be expected from your experience to be using all the brand compliant fonts?
Well, in a way, this website is already approved by Toastmasters. So whatever you get out of the box, you can simply straight away start using it. Don't break your head too much about whether it's really Gotham or is it Montserrat. They have chosen fonts which were applicable or sufficient for them. And Toastmasters is absolutely no problem in the layout and the themes that are provided out of the box. Okay, if you start customizing too much, start putting images and all that, then of course follow the guidelines that you have learned earlier of what kind of images you should be putting on that website.
Okay. All right, that's it for me. I don't know if there is any other questions from anyone.
No, but I want to say this is so useful and really will take a lot of the Caribbean brands or clubs, not brands, clubs forward. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yes, as I was going to express thank you on behalf of everyone for this informative. And what I also liked about this session, in a very selfish way, it wasn't a big group. It wasn't more than 10 or 20. And I say that because there's been some recent survey out about the effectiveness of breakout rooms that are larger than 10 and more to have the kind of, quote unquote, one-on-one interaction. And this made it very interesting. So I want to thank you, DTM Burrito. It's truly amazing. The ease and simplicity in which you shared what you knew that we can apply right now, not go figure it out next week or 6 months time, but right now. I want to say
Thank you for the opportunity. I love training. In fact, I took a little break for like 6 or 8 weeks. I was in States visiting my son, and now I'm back.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the picking up the pace and enabling people to effectively use the assets that are available for us to, really put out the word of Toastmasters out there in many different ways.
Yeah, I love training too as well, and I'm happy to have made the acquaintance in this space. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I know we're to be wrapping up. The presenter was awesome. We have a minute to go, and we just want to thank everyone who was a part of the session today, and see you on the other side.